So when I ask what is bhakti, obviously we need to think. Maybe bhakti is not a cut and dried single state of some sort of being there. It may be having different levels, right? In 11th canto of Bhagavatam, if you have come that far, one of the 9 Yogishwaras writes a coded language, which I talked to you before also about it. He says bhakti comes from bhakti. You see, bhaktya sanjayate bhaktya. So bhaktya sanjayate bhaktya is what he is saying. Bhakti which comes from bhakti. Now, why does he talk like this? It looks like a circular reference, isn't it? It is not. The beauty is one of the commentators called Sridhara Swami, Sridhara Pada. He very beautifully says, Bhakti has at least 2 levels or 2 categories. And the Mahatmas added a third one, and some people added 8. So forget all that, but we'll keep for the time being 3 levels of Bhakti. The first level of Bhakti is called Sadhana Bhakti, or the Bhakti of preparations, or Bhakti of actually doing, or it is a practice for Bhakti. That's how we have to call it. It's a practice, or a Bhakti's practice, or if we can make it more sharper, it is practice for Bhakti. And that's also included as Bhakti. It's called Sadhana. You all know what Sadhana means. Sadhana means you practice something. The moment I say practice, it means it is something to do mainly with our sense organs and may not be with the heart. You get what I'm saying, right? It's more to do with behaviors rather than our thoughts or feelings or the heart. So that's the first step. And out of the immense kripa of the Mahatmas, they included that also as bhakti, because generally when you have, for example, when you say there is a drama which is going to happen in your school, and the audience is full, everything is about to start. But before the drama, you want to prepare your scene behind the screen, and you want to engage the audience. So you send somebody before the screen to play something or talk something or sing something. Now, this is only to prepare for the drama, but we include that as a part of an event. Likewise, this sense organs trying to chant with your lips, the hands are plucking flowers and offering to Bhagavan's feet. It is in form of an act, right? It is purely an action. Action done with our senses, action done with hands, action done with our walk, speech, action done with our eyes. What we generally did now before we came to satsang, I'm sure your mother or father would have pressurized you. Today is Sunday, and today is the first Sunday of this month. Chalo, let's go to the temple. So now you just go, you see, to the temple. And you go to the temple basically because your parents pressurized you. And you go there and you go about the routine, you go about the grind of getting into the temple sanctum, and the Bhattacharya gives some water, you take the water, you come back now. Now your senses are only involved in it. Your heart is not in divinity in any way, right? Now the question is, do you call this bhakti or not? Now that you heard me say this, and you go with your father or mother, and you go because they asked you, and you go maybe possibly to have some masala dosa in the canteen there also, I don't know. So you go there before you came to satsang or before Guruji blessed you. So you go there and you go around, go to the temple, your legs are going, your eyes are seeing Bhagavan, your hand is taking some water and you're drinking and tasting that water with your lips and all that. Would you include that as bhakti, yes or no? Now there are 2 aspects to it, and this we covered in the various weeks which we discussed earlier, and it was covered in some corner of the discussions every now and then. So let me bring it to the forefront or to the center out here. First of all, bhakti, as I said, has 3 levels. First one is purely an action level, or it is action of senses. The heart is not involved. And it's called sadhana bhakti only if the intention is to develop love towards the Lord. right? So if I'm dragging my feet to the temple, I'm not feeling love in my heart. I am not feeling joy in my heart. But I have an intention that I need to develop love towards the Lord. So I am going to the temple, even though I feel no emotion doing that. That becomes what is called as sadhana bhakti. It is simply an action. It is simply a behavior. It is simply a work of my sense organs. The mind may be or may not be involved. If it's not involved at all, even then it is called sadhana bhakti. This is one side of the answer. The second side of the whole situation is in Bhagavatam, in the first canto, in the second chapter, it is said that your actual spiritual journey starts when you even accidentally visit, as one of you very beautifully pointed out, Punya Tirtha Nishevanat. When you go to a place which is actually having the presence of Bhagavan, either because of its installation by mantra or yantra or tantra, or more so when Mahatmas have come to that place in itself becomes different. It becomes spiritually very vibrant. When you even happen to pass by that place accidentally, you are not doing sadhana bhakti, but then you will be actually blessed with bhakti in some point in the future, which is purely not from my side, but by the grace of Bhagavan. So from my angle or my perspective, sadhana bhakti or bhakti in the starting stage happens when I am just walking to the temple. I feel no love for the Lord. Heart is not involved at all. Perfectly okay. But my intention of going to the temple should be, or if it is, to develop love towards Bhagavan in future. It is to pray to Bhagavan, saying that, Bhagavan, I desire prema, I desire love, I desire devotion. I don't have it, but I'm not giving up. And I'm coming here to at least offer a prayer for you to bless me with devotion. It becomes sadhana bhakti because senses are involved and the intention is for me to have love in my heart, right? And that sadhana bhakti, when it is blessed by a guru and when it is blessed by Bhagavan, flowers into what is called as Bhava bhakti. Okay. Now, there are two words which Swamiji very beautifully explained. The difference between, you say rasika, you all now know the word rasika. I don't have to translate it. And you also know what bhavuka means. Rasikaha, bhuvi bhavukaha. And rasika and bhavuka, a simple difference is Uddhava Swami, his heart melts when he remembered how Bhagavan gave even Putana, that the demoness who came to kill Bhagavan with her poison, Bhagavan gave her the same stature he would give to mothers and the cows which fed him milk after their physical body drops. He is giving her the stature of a mother to whom somebody who came to kill him and somebody who is known for killing infants. Can you imagine even accepting such a person? Bhagavan, out of his tremendous compassion, gave Putana the highest moksha, and Uddhava says, Kamvadayalum Sharanam Brajena. Can you show me a more compassionate Lord than my own beloved Krishna? Then to whom else can I actually surrender unto? Kamvadayalum Sharanam Brajena. Now a Rasika would say, fantastic. A Bhavuka would cry, Kamvadayalum Sharanam Brajena. That is the difference between a Rasika and a Bhavuka. Rasika, religious as a third person. You would say, what a wonderful rasa out here of kripa, of karunyam, etc. And the Bhavuka would feel the horripilation, tears coming from his eyes, and the heart is melting, thinking, oh my God, Krishna, you're so compassionate, you're so compassionate. You are no longer a witness to what is being told. You are affected by it. You are not a third person relishing something like a window shopping. You become involved in it. And your heart melts and you feel a wave of horripilation. And when those rasas start affecting your mind and the body, it creates vikaram. Vikaram, it creates a change or a transformation, at least for a few seconds or microseconds in the body. That is what is called bhava, right? So here, the next level from sadhana bhakti is you start feeling such bhava. It's called bhava bhakti. And when the bhava bhakti becomes complete, it becomes what is called as Prema Bhakti. So that's why Swamiji, being the greatest of all Bhavukas, is praying to Radharani, Bhava Bhaktim Dehi Sri Radhe. He's asking for Bhava Bhakti. Bhava Bhakti is like before the sun is rising, the initial morning glow, which is there in the eastern direction, is Bhava Bhakti. And Prema Bhakti is like the full sun without any clouds shining on top of your head in mid-afternoon in Chennai in April. You see, that is Prema Bhakti. Bhava Bhakti is a small portion of the complete love which dawns in the heart of Mahatmas, and that is called Prema Bhakti. So now you have a Sadhana Bhakti, and then you have a Bhava Bhakti, and then you have what is called as Prema Bhakti. So that's what is Bhakti really mean. Bhakti means either by three things, by fortune accrued over our past lives. It is my conviction that none of you would be sitting out here as a part of our Swamiji Satsang or G.O.D Satsang without your past lives or maybe even this life. So much punya must have got accrued. And you must have heard about the greatness of devotion. And each of us must have pined for it or prayed for it. And Bhagavan has opened a door for us in form of a satsang. Even in satsang, because it's a small group, I dare say, you're not a casual part of satsang, where you come only for the cultural part of it. You come only for what do I get out of this guru part of it. You don't come only for if I have a trouble, I have somebody to tell my trouble who can bless me to bring me out of trouble type of a participant. You are here completely involved, trying to read Bhagavatam every day. You don't understand much of Bhagavatam because you don't know Sanskritam, yet you are reading it because Swamiji has told us to read it. You're reading it with a conviction that when I am doing what I need to do with my senses, even if it is not moving my heart, because of Guru's Kripa, because of Bhagavan's Kripa, it is going to lead me to Prema. And this conviction is what is called as Shraddha. And this can only take us from a practicing devotee to a devotee who is actually feeling the love for the Lord, to a complete devotee who has nothing else but love for the Lord. You see what I'm saying? And even if our journey of life ends somewhere before we become completely full, Bhagavan says, why do you worry? Teshamaham samuddarta. Even a small little act you do for love or out of love will not go waste. There is no defect in it. You will get the fruit of what you are doing. So our path never fails. And that's the reason why I thought we should understand what we're trying to do out here. So 3 steps in Bhakti. So what is Bhakti? You have 3 steps there. The first one is what is called as Indriyas or senses, or just my senses of action and senses of, Jnana Indriya, perception. I deploy them with an intention of becoming a devotee, becoming a devotee who has love in the heart for Bhagavan Sri Krishna and the Guru. And so I am doing all this. Now, while I am doing all this, I may not have any transformation happening in my heart or in my body. That's perfectly fine. I am preparing. I am doing sadhana. And the Kripa of our Mahatmas and Rishis, they have included that also as Bhakti, and they called it as Sadhana Bhakti, which is clearly only acts or actions. And then by Guru Kripa, it flowers into Bhava Bhakti. And then it becomes Prema Bhakti. Prema Bhakti means tremendous love for the Lord and all that. That's the final goal.